So JYP has made a comeback. I was scrolling on Instagram, right? I was just like, what is this video? It's very high quality and this man is just, moving around. And then Asians saw something JYP. JYP. And then the title, Wet. And I'm like, wet? Wet? I opened the comment section. And then I see the first comment. It was this girl. Well, I don't know what's wet because for sure I'm not. And then scroll and like, we didn't ask for this. Scroll. And then the Korean comment saying, "Hyung, please stop doing what you want to do." So I watched the music video and then I saw some of the performance as well. And the funny part is now global fans aren't even surprised. Because long time ago, we already knew this in Korea when he debuted. But then, global fans initially knew JYP through maybe Twice. And then you see sweet dreams are made of these, you see those moments and then you get shocked. I think everybody in the world already knows now. And here's the thing. I am not talking about this to mock him. I actually thought this comeback was cool. Am I the only one who feel that way? I actually think it's cool. It's not even like, yeah, sure. But like, it's actually cool. Not even you're cool for your age, but I actually think it's cool as an art itself. He's pushing 30s, by the way. JYP? I thought JYP was pushing 50s. Isn't he pushing 60s? He's 54, guys. So number one, part that I wanted to point out, JYP's body. Okay, now I sound even more weird. I know I normally talk about men's body, but talking about JYP's body sounds weird. But JYP's body is actually good. And you might be too used to men like San from 80s. But again, guys, he's 52. 52! He's literally more than twice older. Is that crazy, guys? He lived twice of more life and more than me. And he has better body than me. And also, his dance, he's always been good at dancing. You guys know that, right? JYP used to be one of Korea's, still is Korea's one of the best dancer. And he set a lot of the dancing standard for idols as well. He'll stop lying? No, this is true. It's real. Now, when it comes to singing, I'll be honest, I actually thought this song, the singing was a little iffy. He always had a nasally tone. But I felt like in this song, the nasaliness was a little bit stronger. He kind of talks like, nah, 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 nah. And that sound, 어머님이 누구니? Yeah, that sound was a little bit more exaggerated. But also at the chorus, he added a female singer. And I feel like that was a good decision. Where, if I'm being honest, it's like this. If you feel like your vocal isn't able to carry the entire song, then adding another singer and making the chorus more ambiguous in the singing is actually better for the song as a whole. So his singing is more prominent in the pre-chorus. JYP, I don't know if you guys know this, he always used to talk about 50-50. 50% air, 50% sound. And I think I see where his ideology lies in when it comes to singing. But I just personally feel like, I don't know how I feel about the singing aspect. Not necessarily my type. And also, there is a Latin influence in the song as well. Have you guys felt that? I think Korea right now is having a Latin boom. We always liked Latin and Latin music, but I think it's kind of becoming a mainstream trend now. Alongside with the 80s comeback. I think the initial boom was, the one I remember is also Blackpink kind of used the Latin sounds actively. 80s always did. NCT, some of their songs have it here and there. As well as, Brazilian funk is very popular. Like, obviously, if you know Songhoon, then Songhoon is basically Brazilian. KARD, I think, also had a lot of Latin, not just influence, but KARD was really popular in South America, right? I heard that they recently disbanded, but yes. So, even though K-pop always had an influence of Latin music, recently, the concept of Latin music is being more popular. As in, previously, K-pop used to only take the sound aspect of Latin music. But nowadays, we're using Spanish or putting that concept in there. Like, I feel like Latina talk like, I personally like it. I don't know how Latinos feel about this. Because you might feel like, oh, they're stealing our culture. Or you might feel like, oh, like, I'm glad they're making more Latin-based music. I don't know how you feel. I personally like it because I like Latin music as well. JYP, I like the comeback. And he came out to these music shows. You know how there's things like Music Bank where when you come out with a new song, you go. And he started doing these 애교. Oh my god. My eyes. I lost my words when I saw those. Did you see the wet fan chant? No, but I'm very concerned. What is the fan chant? Wet fan chant highlights the hook, screaming JYP right after iconic spoken whisper. The chorus, shouting back make me sweat. The ad-lib, loudly chanting JYP or just call me JYP. You know, okay, I low-key feel like JYP decided to be a CEO just so that he could advertise his music more. You know what I mean? Like, he tried hard to raise NMIX and Stray Kids and ITZY and all that so that he could now use them to promote his music. Like, other CEOs is like, oh, I'm gonna make these kids and I'm gonna suck money out of them. JYP's like, I'm gonna raise them and I'm gonna use their fans to promote my music. Hold up. In a brief moment, I actually saw my future. Wait. If I turn into JYP's age, I feel like I would want to keep doing what I like. So I kind of overlap myself. When I grow older and I make a K-pop company, I'm gonna raise idols and I'm gonna do the same thing. And I'm gonna be like, hey, listen to Sleeping Princess. I'm HY Poppy. You're gonna audition for my company? Obviously you're not that good. And also, did you know that in Korea, the messenger app people use the most is KakaoTalk? Well, KakaoTalk recently released a emoji set of JYP and it says Jinyoung's Day. This is a real product that exists out there. They are selling this for money. This is real. This is real. I think it's like 40 cents. I don't know the exact price. They're not too expensive, obviously. But and also, I heard that JYP sticked all of his photo cards onto the lockers of JYP artists. So, you know how he's the CEO, so he could do whatever he wants. And all of the lockers had JYP photos on it. JYP taped his photo cards onto every single idol locker. Guys, imagine you go to your work, okay? You go to your work and your boss half naked photo card is on every single one of your lockers. It was also on Stray Kids as well. It was also on NMIX. Also, wait, I don't know if anyone else is hating here. I would have actually been a little bit disturbed if other CEOs did this, such as YG CEO, you know, YG, or Hitman Bang. But being honest, when it's JYP, I actually think it's funny and I actually think it's likable. Because, okay, it's not just because he's funny. Here's the little bit more of a serious statement. I actually feel like among all these CEOs, not just in entertainment, but just broadly in general, JYP is one of the few people who actually still like music. You know, I'm also a musician, and when I work in music field, there's so many people, especially as they get older, they don't do music because they like the music itself. It's just business to them. For them, it's no longer art. More of like, oh, how do we make money with this? How do we... And then the younger idols, they view it as an art. And they view it as, you know, something they enjoy. But then the upper ups, they don't really do that. But I feel like among those people, JYP still has his musical desire. Like, JYP is more iconic. And, you know, Korea is a country where if you do things that go against social norms, you get fingers pointed. Obviously, that's true for any country. But you guys know, because it's mono-ethnic country and because we have different culture than America, in America, freedom of expression, individuality, uniqueness, those are all respected, right? But in countries like Korea, China, Japan, you guys ever heard? Like, you can't even wear a different color suit if you go to a graduation in Korea because you don't want to stick out. You can't do something odd that goes against our cultural norm. JYP debuted in 1994. That's before I'm born. So this is like prehistoric moment. But JYP literally debuted. Do you know how he debuted? He debuted with this clear pants. Okay, now you might not really feel like this is too crazy because, you know, in K-pop people wear anything. But guys, imagine 1994. This 1994. Even in 2026, that's shocking. This was his debut. Guess what happened? People called the TV and told them, take that man down. He is damaging my eyes. Get him off of the screen right now. Another funny episode about JYP. So, did you know SM was created by this guy named Suman? SM existed before JYP was even a musician. So, when SM had a company, JYP went to SM's audition. A lot of people don't know about this back lore. And then he sang his debut song, alright? And then SM said, the song's good, but his face. The song's good, but his face. And then he said, I'm sorry, but I think you have to go home. So JYP is like, okay, walking away. And SM said, actually, wait! And JYP is like, why? SM said, do you want to just sell the song and not debut? And JYP cried, walking away, no, I'm not selling you anything. And he ran away. And then later he debuted and then he made his own company. SM is a visual company. Here's the thing. It's not even SM, guys. It's not even an idol thing. No one looked like JYP when JYP first debuted. But anyway, so the reason why I'm bringing up his debut is because he's always been going against the norm. I feel like that kind of creativity, that kind of freedom still exists in his day and age at this age. And I just respect him. The fact that he cares about his music. I saw another interview of JYP. Do you know what JYP's biggest fear is? If you were to ask another CEO what their biggest fear, they would be like, oh, like going bankrupt, or oh, like losing all my company assets. JYP's biggest fear is holding a concert and not being able to sell tickets. That, guys, that's not a CEO fear. That's like a musician's fear. That's like something that idols or artists would worry about. So he still lives and think like musician. And if you've been following through with Stray Kids, if you've been following through with Twice, have you guys ever seen how JYP does mental training to their idols? Have you ever seen him preaching to the idols? He has very strict rules to the idols where he always tells them, you have to be a kind person or else there's no point of having talent. You could sing well, you could dance well, all of that. But if you can't be nice to people around you, if you're not nice to your staff, he also talks about if you call yourself a singer and if you can't hold a hand mic and be able to sing in front of people, then you won't be able to make it in the long run. Which is why I feel like, okay, all idols are talented. I'm not trying to call out any specific, but I actually can't think of any JYP idols or members that are lacking, whether mentality-wise or whether musically. Like if you look at Stray Kids, if you look at Twice, if you look at Kickflip, Next Z, every member has a very strong base. They have strong rapping skills, strong dancing skills, strong singing skills. There's no one that just kind of ride for free just because they're handsome looking. And also, JYP as well as all the idols in JYP are really clean in terms of cancel. Obviously, people still try to cancel, but if you guys think about it, Twice, Stray Kids, I can't remember any like major cancel things. There isn't, right? There isn't. Antics, there isn't. And it's not even like a cancel thing. If you see them talking, they kind of talk soft. As in the way that NMIXX members talk to each other. You could tell that, oh, these are soft people. These aren't the type of people to turn off the camera and then bully one member. You know? Like same thing with Stray Kids. You guys, okay, I recently have been seeing a lot of Skiz Code as well as their mini vlogs and things like that. Okay, I'm not dissing Stray Kids. This is just a meme. Their conversation feels low IQ. Like they were eating breakfast or something at dinner, and I think it was like Hyunjin and Felix and some of the members, and their conversation is like all over the place. They're like, what are you like? Do you know what I mean? So in Korea, the meme was the conversation. The more you listen to it, your intelligence goes down. But yeah, in that sense, like I think that's way better than being like mean and then being fake on the front and then turn the camera off and then throwing shade to another member. Like I never actually get that sensation, the throwing shade to another member sensation. I think that's really important. I'm going into even more sensitive topic. Are you guys aware there are idols that have been kicked out from JYP groups and JYP never gives the reason why? I'm not going to specify anybody. There's multiple. This actually also includes J Park, and I like J Park too. And I feel like when those people get kicked out, I actually think it's personality issue. Not even musical, not even commercial. I actually feel like it's because they didn't pass the JYP's. I'm not saying they're a bad human. That's not what I'm saying. But it just doesn't pass the internal standard. And I think that's why the remaining members is only the soft ones, because they screened them in the idol training stage and even until debut. Kindness check. But again, like, I know this sounds like I'm throwing shade on all the, because I know there's one in NMIX, I know there's one in Stray Kids. Did you know there's also like Wonder Girls? There used to be Hyuna, and they also kicked Hyuna out. There was J Park and 2PM. There's so many. There's actually so many. It's not even one, like Jay from Day 6. I'm not saying these people are bad people, but also I also kind of see what pattern JYP had with these people. I think it's not even like they cause trouble, but it's like if they feel like they're gonna cause trouble in the future, then they kind of eliminate from early stage. By the way, I like Jay a lot, and I listen to Hyuna's music too, and you guys get the idea. But anyway, so that was just a little bit yapping about JYP. JYP Poppy, I hope he makes more music in the future.